All right. Is the bottom in for the Russell? I don't know. Let's take a look. How about that? Yeah. Let's put the drawings back on there. Actually, not yet. So, we've taken out quite a lot of candles here. Question is, do we need to go deeper on the weekly or sorry, the monthly? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't need to on the quarterly. Doesn't need to though. Well, for me, it may have done what it needs to do. We've already taken out liquidity here. Um, and if we keep heading lower, I want to have confidence in the Russell, really. But anyways, yeah, it looks like we tapped into there. We've just taken out the liquidity before we had that big move up. Lots of price action here. Um, what I think here is this too bright? So obviously we came down today, took out the candle lows, and then we had a nice up move. Could have traded that if I was here. Didn't. Um, the obvious draw on liquidity is higher for me, and the bottom could be in here. We'll see. The key thing is going to be looking at the other indices. So we've got relative equal lows on the Dow, which don't look bullish to me. To me, that's a sign that this wants to come lower. And we do have some SMT here with this swing low and then this swing low where we didn't take it out on the Dow. Well, showing strength in the Dow. And it would make a lot of sense for the Dow to come lower to take out these lows, probably take out this low, or at least this one. We'll see. But at the same time, we might see some relative strength in the Russell, who knows? But that would be a nice setup to look for if we did come back down, which we probably will, and took out these lows while Russell just came and swooped. That's just an idea. But yeah, I think everything is clear on the Dow. We've had on the weekly, obviously we could close this fair value gap here. This week, same thing with the Russell. That doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to keep going down though. And then these fair value gaps are really clear on the daily. So yeah, I am leading bearish on the higher time frame, at least short term, and then targeting these lows. You can see strength already showing up in the Russell here. I think it's likely we'd see strength in the Russell here at the highs as we come higher, and then what we'd want to see is a weakness for SMT short in the Dow. So the question more so is the low end for the Dow, and I think not. Does that mean Russell is going to break lower? Possibly. Doesn't really matter for now. But yeah, the play for me is to look short as soon as we get a signal. As for the other indices, similar situations, relative equal lows on NASDAQ. It's almost like I'm treating ES and NASDAQ the same way as the Russell and the Dow. ES, I'd want to see some sort of SMT if we were to sell off and get short on that, or miss it and look for the long somewhere at the lows. Oops. So it makes sense if the NASDAQ rolled over and the ES came down and gave us a relative strength signal. Um, at the same time with that Russell having, or the Dow also having those relative equal lows. USD JPY could be a nice setup eventually. Might already have happened for a short, but we'll see. Why are the candles not the same? So yeah, it'd be interesting if JPY came took out this. What is going on? Why does this candle skip? What is this? 7 p.m. Is it just a single hour? Interesting. So yeah, some sort of SMT here would make a lot of sense. JPY to come crack that while the dollar sits weaker, which would be very interesting. And maybe you could long the pound or the euro. As that happens. But yeah, we've got a daily fair value gap that's gonna get filled probably, and then we do have the Nasdaq gap up here. So we could look for daily SMT. That would be, oh, this is weekly. Sorry. Maybe we look for daily SMT. yeah. Anyways, my plan is to watch this swing here, which is the same swing here where we had some weird SMT here where the Russell, zoom in there, versus the Dow. So the Russell sold off here with on the same candle and then made higher lows throughout this whole period on the Dow. So if we came up here on Russell, cracked this high where this alert is, makes a lot of sense to get short on the Dow. I'd expect the Dow to be up above this high, but we'll see where it is. And maybe just immediately short the Russell if we crack this, using this as our risk, or waiting, and we'll be watching these indices too, obviously. But yeah, watching this same area. I think it's likely this breaks, this fair value gap here holds, and the Dow maybe peaks above here, and you would just risk maybe 4 hour. Yeah, maybe you just raise the time frame. Yeah, 4-1. I think on the 15-minute it was the cleanest look. What the? So yeah, here was the sell-off, original move down that got rebalanced completely on the Dow, and then the Dow sold off, where that entire time from this sell-off did not get rebalanced on the Russell, and the Dow did. So for the Russell to come and crack this high, which would be this high corresponding on the Dow, we want to see weakness in the Dow and get short on it. So possibly this 15-minute fair value gap here, and then just risk top of this order block possibly, or just risk the wick. Yeah, this candle high possibly. So yeah, that'd be quite interesting. Well, we take this high, we don't here. We could short the Russell, but the Dow is cleaner to me, and it should be weaker if the rotation is going to happen, the rotational narrative. And that's the bias. So short the Dow, and then crack these lows, look for long on the Russells, the play for me. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens. Part of this thesis comes from divergent flows on SPY net flow with the tide. Tide's just following price. Puts continuously falling, while calls drastically rose. Just falling price though, you can just see the price and then the yellow. And then calls did rise here, which before we get into that, puts were drastically rising on the net flow. Um, So lots of call volume too. So the puts that are confirming my thesis to get short, and these calls don't necessarily contradict it. It's more so um, just a timing thing. So I think what's happening here is they're getting into calls at the close because it's going to rally into tomorrow, and then possibly unload those at the open or whatever, and or before the open, and they use the puts to sorry, they use their puts to exit, and then yeah, once we see some call exiting on the flow tomorrow, that'll be very interesting. So yeah, man, that's it. Just looking for SMT and some flow to confirm the trade tomorrow. Probably just gonna wait till the open, but if we get something before that, because they can trade options on SPX before. There's no news tomorrow. At least red and orange folder. Next week, there's nothing on Monday either. So yeah. This doesn't mean the trade is gonna happen tomorrow. Just probably it could happen, and then Monday, Sunday, Monday, if it hasn't happened, then maybe it happens then. Makes a lot of sense for the weekend, just like we had last weekend where we gapped down. So makes a lot of sense to me. Just keeping an open mind to all of that. Looking for sells, a swing short. I'll be looking on my swing account and my day trading account because yeah, why not get in both? Um, the day trading account will take priority. Um, but yeah, anyways, stupid fact. As for the dollar, looks like it has enough reason to go lower now. Doesn't mean it is, but um, it did take out some sell side, which is now gone. That's the new sell side. Still think we're going to come down into this weekly fair value gap. That lines up with a lot of other stuff. Um, as for yeah, daily, definitely could draw higher before we go lower. Um, don't know what this line is for. And this gap's gone, and this is gone, and this is gone. Haven't updated this chart in a while. Relative equal lows and highs here, so I'm going to leave those there. Those are usually pretty clean areas to keep on the chart that were significant earlier on. We had a nice order block here. Yeah, I mean, it has enough reason to reject now. Doesn't mean it is yet, but has reason. Yen is bouncing here, very similar to the indices. Uh, yeah, just gonna look for that as a confluence. Yeah, none of this might happen at all tomorrow. Just gonna show up and take advantage of it if it's there. Big week, uh, fair value gap here. Will it get filled all the way? No, most likely not. Would be interesting though if we did draw up higher, because then I would get short on the yen for a nice swing. I don't think that the move is over. Don't think that this is the sell-off and that was it. So there was higher time frame highs here. Sucks to miss out on that. Anyways, that's all I'm really looking at. Crypto, similar situations. I think we do want these lows. Doesn't mean we'll get it. Just like always, it has enough reason to go up. I mean, it took out and rebalanced this whole range. Took out the actual low below the order block. So to me, it's like okay, high probability we would, you know, What is this? What the F is this? Is this just a stupid fractal that I had from a long time ago? Yep. So yeah, definitely looking for one more low, even if it doesn't occur. Still staying cautious. Ethereum, equal lows. I think we want to hold this order block though. Still, I think we want to come down, hold this order block. Maybe not on ETH, but at least on the total market cap. Watching this order block. Maybe cleaner on the weekly. Yeah, just these smooth lows are too clean. Why would they not take it? And then Bitcoin, yeah, looking for probably this order block, but doesn't not necessarily. Yeah, smooth lows takes it. And yeah, just a waiting game for me. Nothing super clear to get long besides this candle we had today, but I don't think I could have really with confidence anticipated that. So with like super high confidence at least. So yeah, was there an SMT here on the lower time frames in the Nasdaq? We have a fair value gap to the left. Nice. Nothing here. Do we take this low? Yeah, we took that low. Yeah, it's just bouncing where there was a bullish SMT on Nasdaq, which to me should get taken because it's a strength in Nasdaq, which doesn't make sense to me for the narrative. So that's why I'm expecting it to be taken. Be watching. This is where it's tricky for me because I do want to see bearish SMT on Nasdaq versus ES. Here we have a significant swing area that I marked out. I don't know why that's so not bright. So if we look here, ES or Nasdaq created equal highs here. Rebalancing the entire range, which isn't super interesting, but it's something. And then we had our little gap down. And now we've taken out the gap on Nasdaq. On ES, same thing. So yeah, what's going to happen here? I don't know. Seems like we could get some weakness here in ES just on the current action, maybe an SMT on the current action that occurs while we're up into here. So I have an alert set for ES to take this high out. And that would be SMT. And I'd love to see NASDAQ struggling. Am I confident in that level? Not really. This could easily go higher. The next area would just be above this swing high, possibly into this next gap. If ES came all the way up into here, which is above here, yeah, if Nasdaq came up here, failed this gap while Nat or ES took this high, that'd be another area. So yeah, we'll just be waiting for all of it to line up. And yeah, that's it. That's about it. That's about everything I'm looking at. Other than that, not confident in anything else. Nothing looks super clear. Um, Maybe gold and silver look pretty easy, but not really. Don't know the markets enough and how they're correlated. I don't know what if I should be using SMT. That's yeah, staying not yeah, that's just not something I'd ever trade. All right, yeah, that's